Hello, everyone. Whoops, let me put my headset in. That seems like a good plan. Just admitting everybody to the party. I also just posted in the MemberVault group, so we might have people rolling in. So I'll try and keep my eyes on the participants, and hopefully I can scoop up everybody. So everyone, thank you so much for coming. This is going to be really fun, and hopefully technology is on our side today, because I realized this is more of a tech tutorial than anything, and I am not super techie by any chance. Ashley says 600p here, yay! I'm excited too. So I am hoping that all the tech fairies are on our side and everything works out. I feel like I just have to like say this because normally I'm teaching and coaching on things like copy and sales, which I know off the back of my hand. This is a little different. I was texting my friend today, my biz bestie, and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's variables I can't account for with technology. So it's gonna be interesting. I actually do have, you might have even seen it, I do have a step-by-step walkthrough article that is published in the MemberVault. Oh, you know what? I'll just post the link right now. Let me just get it. I'm going to be doing a little bit more than what I show in the actual article, but it is really helpful, especially because some of you might be following along with me, and then some of you might just be sort of like seeing what to do and then going and doing it later. So I totally know everyone has like their own thing that they're up to today. So if you don't capture everything, this will be posted in the MemberVault circle. And then also that article is really helpful. It's so helpful that I am actually going to be using it myself as I go through this. Because like I said, I'm not super techie. I don't remember this stuff. I figure it out and then I create a process. That way I can do it again. So I actually did this yesterday. I set it up for the buying psychology cheat sheet, which if you did the Fast Action Friday and then you got the secret sauce, the sales page secret sauce, the buying psychology cheat sheet, you will actually see access to it. It's a whole other product, but I put a bunch of stuff in there. And then I use this process and set it up to gamify getting more stuff. Oh, I got more people. Let me see, waiting room, admits. Yay, Lauren's coming in. Okay, so just for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Katie Momo. I am a sales strategist and copy expert. I help people really try and fine tune their sales process. I've worked with like the big celebrity entrepreneurs that you see. I've sort of been the person behind the scenes making a lot of that stuff happen. So I have a ton of background in this stuff, and so much of what makes copy work is not the stuff that like a copywriter thinks about, like when they're sitting by themselves, hunched over their MacBook. And this is the same for all of us. We tend to think like, oh, we have to like think of these things. And that's not what it is. The best words actually come from our dream clients. So they can actually write a lot of our copy for us if we know how to do it. So this is one of the processes that I like to get people to set up. So that way we have a continuous influx of great copy coming in that we can use in order to help us dial in our sales process, give us copy that we can use on our sales page and all throughout our like sales copy, whether that's like an email, whether that's a post. It really does give us a lot of information that we can use. I'm just going to mute someone. Oh, I was just getting some feedback. Okay, good. I think we're all good. So we can use this copy to fuel the rest of our business and also help us make really great business decisions as well. So there's one question that we're going to be looking at that helps us give us more information about what people need, because that way we can create products that answer the next need. We can create bonuses that get more people buying. There's just so much that we can gather that you can set up automatically with MemberVault, which is why I'm like obsessed with this. I use it all the time. I get people to do this all the time. And now we're going to show you, because I figured out a way to gamify the whole process to get even more people answering. I literally have like over 800 questions now in my MemberVault of the answers that people give me, and they just blow my mind. Like the stuff that people say, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have said it that way. And that's brilliant, because how we perceive our products and how we try and market and sell our products are completely different than how our clients talk about it and think about it, and the words that they're saying, the things that they're Googling. So we need to, instead of being here and they're here, we need to match it. So that way, when they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I need. And the easiest way is to just take the shortcut and have them write the words for you. So let me swing my my camera around, and we are going to dive into MemberVault itself. Actually, before I do that, let me know what you're doing. If you are following along, oh, I have another person to admit. Come on in, Emily. If you are following along with me, if you can leave me a 1 in the comments, if you're just vibing and just checking out what I'm doing today, so that way you can do it, can you leave a 2? Just because it might help me gauge how fast or how slow to do things. We got a 2 from Brenda. Okay, awesome. 2. Okay. 1 is if you were actually following along and implementing right as I do it. So I think we've got mostly 2s. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that helps me a lot. That way I know exactly, it helps me time my speed and stuff. And then also too, if you have any questions, oh, we got Nicole coming in, sweet. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. I'll try and keep my eye on it as much as I can. And I have time at the end. So just so everybody knows, like, I think it'll take me like maybe 30 minutes to do this, maybe less. But I have time up to like 60 minutes if there's questions after. Might be faster than that, just depends. I've never taught this before because I don't really do a lot of tech tutorial stuff. So this is like a whole new adventure for me, but it's done in the name of sales and copy and conversion. So that's why I fell into this little project. So it's pretty fun. All right, so now that I know what we're all doing, I am going to swing this guy around and we are going to take a look. Whoops. Let me just see. Okay. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually not going in my personal MemberVault because I have like 7 billion products and it's very confusing to look at. I feel like it's not going to help anyone. So what instead, I'm using another MemberVault that I had bought with a friend because we were setting up a live event business just before COVID happened. So guess what? That business never really happened. We did one event before COVID. So we are not doing that anymore. So I'm going to use it as this tech tutorial because it'll be a lot cleaner to look at. Oh, let me see. Sherry says me too. Okay, cool. Awesome. So let me just check my notes, see if there's anything that I wanted to say before we dive in. Okay, no, I think we're good. Okay, so there's 7 steps we're going to be going through today. So the first thing is, what I want you to do is actually just create your quiz. So go into your product, and I have created this dummy product with this incredibly engaging name called main product. And that is where we're going to put our quiz, okay? So, oh, am I getting a notification? Yay, Dara's coming in. Awesome. Okay, so what we are doing, oh, we've got more, sweet. Here we are in my very sexily named main product. And this is where I'm going to actually go ahead and then make that quiz. Okay, so I'm just going to, whoops, pop in through here. Oh, I got more people coming in. Oh, I wish Zoom hadn't made us either set up a waiting room or a, here we go, there we go, or a password. It's just a pain in the noodle. I feel like this is a game. I'm like going back and forth and admitting people. It's like, you know, that carnival game where like the hedgehogs or whatever they are pop up and you have to like pop them in. Okay, so here we are. I'm in my main product and let me just force this out. Here we go. So we have our lessons here, right? Our modules and our lessons. Oh, I'm just gonna make sure that we mute everybody so we're not getting feedback. Okay, I think we're muted again. Cool. So here we are, our main product. So what I want you to do is go into the module of the last, of the last lesson. And we're going to create a new lesson, which is where you are going to house your quiz, or you can have that on the last lesson, whatever makes sense for you. What I have found is working really well is doing like a wrap-up lesson. So like sometimes I'll make a checklist because I love a checklist. So I'll make a checklist for people to be like, hey, like, let's make sure that you have gone and covered everything and applied it. And then I will pop my quiz into there. So that way it makes sense that it's like, this is the wrap up section. Most people want to do, check it out. So that way it's just sort of like ties in naturally. So I'm going to go in and let's just pretend that this is our last lesson. Oh, you know what? Let's do this here. Let's say that this is the wrap up. What I have found is if I create a fun title for it, like Unlock Your Prize, that usually gets more people clicking on it because that's a lot more interesting than, you know, wrap up, checklist, next steps, something like that. So if you can name it something fun that makes people really want to click on that, you're in a good position already. So let's say you have your awesome lesson text, and you just want to add your quiz. You just go and add these quiz questions. So super simple. We're going to use three open-ended questions or essay questions, and then one closed question. So I like to ask 3 different questions. Actually, there's a lot of different questions I like to ask, but there's 3 that I typically use, which are like my quick and dirty go-tos. Number 1 is, what is your biggest win or takeaway? Now, this really depends on your actual offer. So if it's something that they haven't implemented yet and they don't actually have a win, you're going to get a takeaway. If it's something that they are implementing as they go and they might actually have some sort of outcome, then you might get the win. So wins are my ideal because that's going to speak to the results that people get, but sometimes they're just not there yet. So you could even set up like an email autoresponder later down the road if you want to send people back to this quiz or to another quiz, like when it's most likely that they've gotten the results to get that piece. But that's like a whole other level. If you want to do that, like good on you. Even I don't do that. But I'll throw that in there in case you're like a real go-getter. Question 2 that I like to ask is, this is also an essay question. What would you like help with next? This gives me such great ideas in terms of what my next offer should be. And sometimes it's things that I expect and I'm like, perfect, I even have that planned. Sometimes it's things that I have no idea and I'm just like, that is the greatest idea. How did that not even come into my awareness before? And your people know best what they want. So that gives you a lot of opportunities. You can either be like, hey, you know what? I saw you were saying you needed help with XYZ. I actually have something for that. Or you could go to them and be like, hey, you know what? Like that was a really good idea. I'm thinking about making it. Would that be something that you would be interested in becoming a founding member of? You could sell it just like having a quick little conversation because they literally raised their hand and was like, hey, I want this thing. So it makes it so incredibly easy. The last question that I love to ask, you will see me ask this everywhere. What would you tell someone who's thinking of joining? This gives you such good copy. Oh my God. Like copy and paste that into your page. It is so good. Now, the last thing that we want to do is actually get permission. So this is a little bit different. We're going to go in here and go multiple choice. So I like to, you can do a few different ways. You can say something like, would I be able to share your responses? So that can be your main question. And then you can give 2 different options. You could say something like, yes, you're welcome to share, and then no, please keep it between us. So that makes it really specific. You could even go 1 layer deeper if you really want to try and get granular with that. You can say, give 3 options. Sure, you can share my responses and my name. Sure, you can share my response, but please keep it anonymous. No, please keep this between us. So you can choose whatever you want. Just remember, keep in mind that the more answers, the more questions that you ask, the harder it is for people to answer. And we need to get this answer in order to get the rest of the answers that they already did, right? So we don't want to make it like too complicated that people don't answer at all. Okay, what am I going to do here? I want to make sure that I always click yes, this is part of the correct choice, because we're not testing their knowledge, right? Like all we want to do is just get permission. Like, how can we use this? That's all. And this is going to be really important later. I completely stuffed this up the first time that I did this. This was like a big aha moment. I did not choose one or the other. I was like, it doesn't matter. So people were not able to fill out my questionnaire. Actually, I think that this backhand has changed because actually, I think I might have mentioned that to Erin, saying like, oh, it was sort of like stuck in Nowheresville. Like there was a time where you had to actually select one. It sort of defaults to the no. I think that's new because before I had you could be in no man's land, which means that your entire questionnaire doesn't get answered. So I think that was resolved, which is why I love MemberVault. They literally listen to all the things that we tell them. Okay, so let's just preview this for fun. Okay, so here we go. You can answer your questions. Let's just do this. Test, 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 and then yes, and submit answer. Is that working? Or is this just slow? It could be just slow. Oh, because I'm in preview mode, of course. Hello. You can't answer questions in preview mode. Oh, do I have a question? Let me see. Sorry to be late. Oh my gosh, don't worry. All good. Pain in the noodle is funny. Joe says, I'm new to MemberVault, so this is helpful. But how do they unlock the prize? What are you doing for that? Oh, Joe, Lynn, you are in good hands. I've so got you. This is coming up right now. So we're going to dive into the next 5 steps, I think, are going to cover this. So that's perfect. I'm glad you asked that question, and I'm glad I have an answer. Being a non-techie person, I really hope that the questions are related to something I can help you with. Because I don't have a question. I probably won't have answers for people outside of this process that I figured out. But you can try. I will certainly give you my best shot in answering it. Okay, so let's go to the next one. 2, create the reward. So this is so easy in MemberVault. What you want to do is go to your products and create a invisible product. So I have created something that I called reward product. I know I was like really on my name game when I was setting this up, wasn't I? Okay, so to make the reward work the best, what I want you to keep in mind is like, it should make sense with what your offer is. It doesn't like, don't just like create something like totally random. Make it like totally make sense with the product so that way someone wants it, right? Like desire is always the biggest reason why people do things. Next thing is, it doesn't have to be the greatest, hugest thing in the world, right? Like, I bet if you go through your content, if you go through your Google Drive, if you go through maybe other products that you've created, sometimes even going through your social media, you realize like, oh my gosh, this thing is really helpful. This thing is really good. This could totally be a little bonus for somebody. So you probably don't have to make it from scratch. You just need to go through and see like, okay, what do I have that's hidden that could work for you? So all I want you to do is, oh, you know what, let's just create a fun little invisible product just because I know that there's some people who are newer here. All you would do is put this as invisible, okay? That's it. Like, and then you just make it like normal. Invisible product. Gosh, my names are amazing right now. I swear I am a better namer of real things. And then you can just go and you can be like, reward. If I wanted to open just on that one lesson, I would just name it the same thing. So that way it all ends up here. You would just put your awesome stuff here. I can also type too, by the way, just not right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and see my own notes. Okay, now here's where the techie part comes in. We are going to automatically reward people. Okay, so this actions thing is super cool. I was very late to get into actions. They've been around for a long time now, and I just started using them. So classic Katie. What you want to do is just find that product, go down to that product that you want to reward people with. So main product, here we go. Add an action. So we need to go past quiz. Lesson. You want to go and grab that lesson. Here, add user to product. Product, invisible product, and add your action. Oops, that action is already added. Sometimes just because I am that skittish person who wants to make sure that she covers all of her tech buns, I will do a fails quiz just because I want to make sure that like literally anyone who answers this gets rewarded properly. You probably don't have to do that. That's like just me like covering my buns because I worry that I might have screwed something up on my end because that's just who I am. But that is now going to work. That is going to automatically add somebody to that product. So what you want to do now is we need to link the product together. Jolene says, awesome. It's like software, if this then that. Yeah, totally. It's exactly the same, just MemberVaultified. It's super, super cool. So now we want to make sure that people can get it. So they will automatically get it because if they go into their hub, sorry, I'm just going to grab some water. If they go into their hub or dashboard or whatever it's called, they will see it there, but they may not know that. So what I want to do is make it really easy for people and automatically pop them into the area where they will be able to see it. So I go back to my main product. I go back here and I create a lesson directly underneath the one with the quiz. It has to be the next thing, okay? Otherwise, it won't go to that in the next step. So add lesson. Collect your prize. Whee! And then you just wait while the internet does its thing. Sometimes the internet gives us a timeout and it says, you know what? You need to take a few minutes for yourself. And I do. Don't fight it. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy when technology is slow as heck. Okay, cool. Here is our lesson. And then I will be like, awesome. You just got access to this super cool thing. And I would explain what super cool thing is so that way people get it. And you know what? Let's add a GIF because why not? We're here. Celebrate. Oh my gosh, sorry for people who heard that. That was an annoying scream. We're gonna go, for anyone who doesn't know how to do this, go into Giphy, find a GIF you like, click media, click source, get an annoying zoom bar coming down so you can't click anything else. Come back here, click your little picture, and then pop your source in. Woo! Don't GIFs just make like literally everything better in the world? Cool. And then what you can do, oh, you know what? We're going to go grab the link to the other product. So let's open this up. Oh, I have another comment. Never thought of adding GIFs to MemberVault. Oh, I love a GIF. I have had somebody tell me that I use too many GIFs, and I'm like, I agree with that statement. I don't think that's actually possible to do. Okay, so come down here, click your little gear, and then just grab this one here. Don't use your one click because they're not coming from their email and everything. Oh, Mariana says, can you go back one step? Where is this lesson? So this lesson is in your main product. Main product, this lesson is directly below the lesson where you have your quiz. So that way, when somebody finishes their quiz, they're going to automatically go to this lesson where we're going to add the link so that way they can go to their reward product. So if I go back one step, oh, I've somehow, how did that happen? I created 3 collect your prizes. Oh, because it was so slow. Don't you love technology? That's okay. If that's the worst that happens, that's pretty great. So that way, when someone finishes this, they answer your quiz, they're automatically going to end up here. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, this is the one without our stuff. Let's go delete this one. Delete, delete. Bye-bye. Here we go. Okay, there we are. We have our lovely little GIF. And you know what? I am going to add a fun little button because I love a fun little button. And I have a button that I have saved on my computer. Oh, you know what? This is different than my normal button, but I will use it. So you can just save an image from like Canva or something. And now you have a button. And you can link that button. So this is going to be where people can click to go get their reward product. And I always set it to open a new window, just in case there's something in that main product that they wanted to still see. You know what, you might want to even, you can link that too. Why not? Let's just cover all of our bases and make sure that people know what the dealio is. So that way you don't get people asking you, how do I get my thing? Let's check this out. Cool. You just got access to this super cool thing. Click here. Oh, and because I have the background of this particular MemberVault set up to not white, you see it's soft gray. If this was on a white background, that button would look perfect. I forgot that this is not a white background. But anyway, you get the picture. Very, very convenient. So now we have, oh my goodness, so simple and fun, right? It's so nice. Like once you set it up, you don't have to do it ever again. That's why I like when I do tech things, I try to set it up so I never have to think of it ever again. And then when I have to actually do it again, that's why I have like processes built, because otherwise I forget because I do it so infrequently. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just pop back into, oh my gosh, this Zoom thing is killing me. Hold on. Can I just go back to my tab, Zoom? Stop. Move. I'm just going to put it down there. Question. Can you create quizzes in MemberVault that actually sort outcomes into different buckets? I don't believe so. You can sort, and I cannot show you my MemberVault because there's people who requested me not to show answers, so I can't. It will separate things by product, and you can separate, if you have multiple quizzes, in one of my mini courses, I do talk about having the benefits of multiple quizzes. You can sort by the lesson where the quiz is. So like if you have a quiz in lesson 1 and a quiz in lesson 5, you can choose, okay, I only want to see the responses for lesson 1. So that is how you can sort it, but you can't do like multi-branch quizzes, but you don't actually need it for this particular, this process. So that's totally fine. I could see that would be helpful, but not for our game here, which is like, we just want copy that sells. Okay, so now that we're back here, we want to go back to unlock your prize. And what we're going to do is just add some teaser copy in here. So that way people feel compelled to actually answer your quiz. Instead of just being like, answer these questions. And usually I will break it down super, super, super simply. Awesome lesson text. So at the end, answer 4 quick questions and get access to my something product to do this awesome thing. So you can fill that in with what makes sense for your offer. And then I like to explain it very, very, very simply. So actually, this is something that I grabbed literally from my own offers. Like I literally just copied and pasted it. So access your prize in 3 steps. 1, answer the questions. 2, press the submit answers button, because if they fill it out but they don't submit, you don't get your answers. We want to be very, very directive about what we need them to do. Don't leave it up to chance. 3, you'll automatically be taken to the next lesson where you will get a link to access the, and in this case, it would not be that. It'd be like your awesome product, whatever that is for you. And for anybody who does have access to the buying psychology cheat sheet, I added a ton of stuff in there this weekend. I know I had a really great weekend, but you might want to check it out. Even if you saw it like 2 days ago, there's so much more good stuff in there. So like you want to go play with that. Okay, so does that make sense? We want to make sure that we tell people why they want it, like why they want it, because they want to do the awesome thing. We want to tell them what they're going to get, and then also what they actually have to do it. So that way there's no ambiguity, because otherwise people would be like, but I don't know what to do, especially if you have stuff under here, like if you have a checklist or whatever, like I was talking about, then they might get distracted. So we want to make sure that it is like plain as day, exactly what they have to do. All right. So now that we've done that, you can do this other thing. You don't have to, but it is very, very helpful. You can go back and update your welcome message in your product. So go back to your main product page and come down here. And if this was a real product, I would have some fun stuff in here. But here, let's just, yay, welcome, so glad you are here. Let's just pretend we have stuff there. And now let's go add in this little teaser for your quiz. Okay. Here we go. And I will usually just say something like, unlock your bonus. After you completed all the lessons, check. You'll see a 4-question quiz, which will let you access something product to do this awesome thing. Something like that, just so that way people know what it is. And then you might even want to go and link to it, because sometimes what happens is people go through the lessons, they're super psyched, they loved your stuff. And then they're like, wasn't there something about getting a prize? So you can go in here and grab the link itself. Come back here. And you can pop that link in wherever you want. It could be down here, it could be up here. You might even want to add something to catch attention again. Giphy, someone who loves GIFs. Excited. I'm going to use a sticker for this one. I particularly love stickers in this area. Oh, let's do this one. So let's do that again. We're going to copy that. We're going to come back here. I'm going to pop that in. I'm going to center it because maybe I'm a little OCD. Maybe. We're going to remove the spaces because that's a little funky too. Cool. Oh, and there might be a big space because there's just a big space on that. But anyway, you get the idea. You can get attention with a GIF. You could have that above that. You could have it below it. It's just a fun little thing that I think it makes your prize and stuff even more eye-catching and exciting because we like that. Okay, so let me go see if there's something else. Okay, yes, the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're collecting the copies. So try it out yourself. Like I would make a fake login for yourself and just go do like anything tech. We want to make sure that we set it up properly and that it's working. I didn't do that the first time, like I was saying, where I didn't realize you had to check whether an option is correct or not. So I was sending people into this awesome product and I wasn't collecting the answers. Julian says, wait, did you put the link to the bonus on the main product page? No, not the link to the bonus. I put the link to the lesson where the quiz is. So I went in here and I grabbed this guy, unlock your prize. So that is where I have the quiz. Okay, thanks. Perfect. Awesome. So just so that way when someone finishes, like they will probably end up on the main page and then they don't have to go through all the lessons to be like, where is that quiz again? They know exactly where to go. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, upgrading your page. So yeah, make sure that you test your quiz yourself. Like make yourself a dummy login and just check it to make sure, because I got unpleasantly surprised by that when I realized I had not done it properly the first time. But hopefully this should mitigate it. And there is this whole article as well that you'll be able to follow along, which will probably be really helpful too. So what we want to do is go and I'm going to open this up. Oops, that's not opening up in a page that you can see it. Take the screenshots of the quiz responses, and then you can pop them on your page. So for example, this was the one probably some of you joined with. So I took screenshots. This is literally from the back end of MemberVault and put it here. Normally, I copied this page from another, it's a freebie product that I have. And I said, like, people love this training because it was specific to that particular training, which is great. So these are the answers that I got from the what would you tell somebody who is thinking about getting this product. So you can say, even with this question, you can get some really, really, really great stuff. I have like, I think 11 golden questions that I ask. So this is just one of them. But yeah, super, super helpful. And let me show you on another page how I've used this. Open this up. So this is one that I actually put it like directly beneath the button because the size was so perfect. It says you're so smart. I just suffered through a lot. I've just been on the back end of a lot of businesses. So I've done like insane amounts of testing. So this is what I like to call a click catalyst. It's like a little nugget around the button, because the button is always like a huge friction point for people when they're purchasing. People think that we tend to think in our head that like people get afraid of buttons. It's not a button that they're afraid of. It's the next step, right? Like, what do they have to commit? What do they have to give up in order to go to the next step? In this case, it's just $27. So then that way I just grabbed something that somebody said that they liked and I thought would be really helpful for someone because it's actionable, it's quick, and there's templates involved, which people like. So I thought that's just like the perfect place to put it. So that way it gives that social proof piece and then answers some of the questions that people might already have already. Like, is this going to take a long time? Is this just like theory? Is it going to, like, do I have to do a lot of work? No, that's actually, there's templates. It's like super, super easy. So that way, those are different ways that I use it. So that way it's really, really helpful, like so helpful. Now, when you are taking these screenshots, can I show you in here? Because I don't actually think I have any questions because we didn't use this. Okay. And I don't want to show you my own because Okay, I'll just talk through it. Okay, so let's say that you were, I'm just gonna stretch this out. Let's say that you take a screenshot here and you get these long answers. If you screenshot that and you put it on desktop, it'll look great. If you put it on mobile, it's gonna look like a dog's breakfast because it's gonna shrink when it's on mobile, so that way it's so tiny people can't read it. So when you take this screenshot, what you definitely need to do, oops, I need to grab my page, come and shrink this bad boy as much as you can. So this is very tiny, so it crunches the text and makes it vertical, so that way it looks good even when it's on mobile. So for example, here, like this would be one long sentence. But because I squished the page before I took the screenshot, it fits perfectly. And it looks like stellar on mobile, totally readable, especially because for an offer like this, most people aren't going to be coming on mobile. Like we need to make sure that our page is really, like if you want to prioritize either desktop or mobile like 100% every day of the week for an offer, for a small bite offer like that. Great tip. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I found that out when I was like, oh, I can't read that. That is totally unreadable. All right, so I think that is it. So let's do some Q&A, and in case anybody has some questions, then I will go through, I'll do a quick summary of the 7 steps. So that way we can just end knowing exactly what we have to do in order to implement this. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat, or you can come up, turn on your mic and talk to me, whatever you want to do. I promise I'm not super scary. I put on makeup and I wash my hair for anyone who read my email. Very proud of myself. I got my hair washed today. And it can be something related to this as well. It doesn't have to be about this particular thing.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, hey.
Hi, Katie. Thank you so much. This is so creative. And actually, I found out about MemberVault through your sales posties.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I was looking for somewhere to host a course, and you led me to that. It's been really, amazing. What would you suggest for people who have like a longer course or program? Would you suggest putting this at the end? Would you suggest putting it after like major modules? What do you think?
Great questions. Yeah, totally. I like to do, if it's a longer course, I like to break it up. And there's different questions I actually ask in that case. But I would definitely do like the takeaway one after major modules.
Yeah.
Because for you, it's really helpful. And also too, the question about like what you want to find out next, because that can really point out like, oh, what's the gap here?
Yeah.
Because what happens is when we're creating things like this, I've worked with like a bazillion course creators. Like we do the absolute best that we can, but there's always things that we miss, right? Just because we're so blind with our own expertise, like,
yeah.
So that gives the opportunity for someone to say like, oh, what about this thing? Or how do I do that? I've gotten some of my best updates that I've made to offers from that question. The things that like I never thought about, like so helpful. And then what would you say to a friend, or what would you say to someone who's thinking about getting this? I would definitely do that one at the end. And if you're going to be doing, you can ask them all at the end. Why not? I would definitely do that. If it was me, I would do that. I'm a question asker. That's why I have over 800 answers. I would reward the one at the end. Maybe not the ones in between, because that could be a distraction for them going to the next lesson or module.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm so glad that you found MemberVault through me. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's been an awesome introduction and so easy to use. Because I loved how you delivered it. So it was just a perfect segue.
And Sherry, actually, I think Sherry just asked me a question, and she was wondering because I use Thrive themes for all of my pages, and Thrive actually has its own like learning management system, and it's super technical. It's amazing because you can do so much stuff with it, but it's not easy. And Sherry was asking why I use MemberVault, and I'm like, because it's easy and it's fast for me to get things out. And Sherry, I actually think you have a question next. I think so. Let me scroll back. Do you use MemberVault for lead magnets to your product? I actually do. I don't use lead magnets a whole lot, but I do have anyone who is in my email list, you have access to it. It's sweet sales stuff. So if you go to gmail.com/shop, I think that leads directly to my MemberVault. So sweet sales stuff, there's like a ton of stuff in there. There's a ton of stuff. Like anyone who's here, I would suggest going through it because there's like a lot of good stuff in there. So I don't like actively promote a lot of traditional lead magnets. I do some like live training and stuff. But when I do promote it, yeah, definitely. I totally keep it in MemberVault. Jolynn's asking a question. I'm moving a course from Teachable to MemberVault. This is amazing and easy. Oh, good. Is there a question, Jolynn?
Yes, I did a couple more posts after
further
that.
down. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I have a bucket quiz. I did Ryan Levesque's course.
Okay, cool.
And created this whole big huge thing. I just can't maintain all of these different softwares. And so yeah, so the quiz is awesome, and it's a whole product in itself. And there's 5 different buckets that it takes people to that customize for them specifically. So I'm wondering if I set up 5 different products in MemberVault, one for each bucket, would that make sense? And
that
then
totally
I can address their particular needs.
Yeah. Okay. So the delivery part, super easy. Invisible products for sure. Like you said, for the 5 buckets. The quiz part.
Well, I found a different quiz platform called MarQuiz, and I got a good deal on that.
Oh,
and
good.
So, so I can do the quiz, but then link to the different pieces in MemberVault. Would that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That totally worked. Yeah. I was just trying to think about how to use the quiz function like quiz or bucket.io, which you can, but that's perfect. Yeah. Just make your invisible products for each one, then just shoot them into that particular one. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And I am amazed. This is, I found just recently so many different softwares coming out that make life so much easier for me. I remember walking around the house years ago going, I need to get online. I need to do this and this and this, but technology is the bottleneck. And so I struggle to loop everything together. This is beautiful. This is way better than Teachable. At least.
Oh, I love MemberVault.
Yeah. The one question I still have though is, how do I put together a place, they say it's for members, that's fine, but where do the members actually talk to each other? That one I haven't figured out.
Well, almost everyone finds that a Facebook group is the best.
Okay.
I've seen people try and use so many different platforms. I know that Facebook's platform groups, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but its chances are for your members, it's almost always is. Like I have been on the back end of so many different programs that have tried to take people off. But the thing is, the engagement piece, especially if you do have a membership, I'm not sure if this is a course or a membership.
Well, I have courses, and I'm working toward a membership. I want to do a circle group.
Okay, yeah, circle works too. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not what I quite meant. Circle is a software. I want to do a circle group of people where we get together and work on, work live. So it's like, okay, what software do I have to do to use that? Is it the Facebook group? Is it, a different kind of group? I don't know.
Maybe just like a Zoom, maybe just like a weekly Zoom, like that everyone can jump on.
Okay.
That could be good.
And then just go ahead, and I can use, then if I had my Zoom calls, I could just post them in one of the products. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that they
yeah.
could, and they have access to it, and then that takes care of that.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
put your recordings in there. You could also put like your calendar in there to be like, yeah, every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we go for an hour and we co-work or whatever it is. And like, here's the link to the Zoom. So that way it's like all easy peasy. You don't really have to touch it once it's done, except having either yourself or a VA just like pop the recordings in there.
Okay. Awesome.
Yay. Oh,
So
maybe I can answer some extra questions outside of this.
you can. I have one other question because I am so brand new to this. Is there regular trainings for MemberVault that I need to be getting into? Because right now I'm just digging through the software trying to figure it out myself, and I, make bloopers and stuff like that. Or
So I know that they're starting, I feel like Mike might have been saying that he might be doing like a weekly-ish training. They're always testing things out. So I would maybe ask, but if you need help, their help system is amazing. Like Ira and Katrina have pulled me out of so many like potholes.
Good.
So anybody who ever needs help, like they know my name because I was like, help. And they're so amazing. Like they're really, really good. And their help section, like just their guides and stuff is super, like very detailed and helpful.
Okay. So do people use MemberVault for like their main website?
Some people do.
Okay.
I don't, just because I like a lot of control over like the buying experience. So there are some people that are 100% MemberVault. It just depends on what works for you and your business and like what you want to do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking your time.
Oh, you're welcome. This is fun. Oh, there's a blue jay outside my window. Sorry. Like squirrel. Okay. Ashley says, this is so awesome. Thank you so much. I kind of remember. I appreciate sharing knowledge. Okay, cool. See, I answered that. Sherry says, questions are awesome and included in copy and paste. Of course, yes. For anyone who wants like my in-depth process for questions, and like I do this with like high-end clients as well. You can definitely get that in copy and paste copy. Jolene says, okay. Oh, we did that already. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Katie, I have a question.
Oh yeah, hey.
I found you through the Fast Action Friday for the sweet stuff, and I was actually the one who posted like, oh, how did you do that? Because like I got access to this extra thing, and you gave a very nice explanation, which is how I got here. But I'm trying to kind of connect the dots because I think you had that one set up slightly differently, where you said you gave access through a webhook at the time.
It is a slightly different
rather
way.
than as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the sales psychology as a module. It's like the buying psychology cheat sheet as a module. And when you click into that module, like you don't have to have, there is a quiz preceding it, but you don't have to have taken the quiz, right? Because you already have access to it. And then you click this button, which is just your image button that you hyperlink to. Okay. I just was like, okay. And it all
You're right. It's totally
now.
not the same thing. It's so similar. Yeah. And when I first read the question, I'm like, oh, I'm going to show this live. And then I read it again. And I'm like, no, it's not. I do something different.
And like for your use case, was that basically like, you're not luring people to take the quiz, but you wanted to like roll this buying psychology cheat sheet into what you were giving with the sales page secret sauce, basically, like without just reduplicating the content?
That one, it just, once you click the button, it just takes you into the actual product because it's a total standalone product. So once you click the button, it just takes you there. And because you were given access from the webhook, like at the point of like purchase, even though it wasn't a purchase this time, you already have access. So like there's nothing that needed to be done otherwise aside from just clicking in there. Or if you went to like their, I'm still sharing my screen. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing that still. Sorry. If like you go to your, the page with all your products, so someone would see that like the instant they log in because they already had access right from the get-go.
I guess I was just trying to figure out sort of like from your side, when you sat down and said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this secret sauce, but I'm going to give them the buying psychology and I'm going to link it together. Is that just basically like a nice way to give a couple things, but keep it tidy under one sign up?
Yeah, I was just like asking myself, like, is there something else that would be helpful to this person? And then I just sort of like looked through my products because I have like it's like a mess. I have so many products. I was like, what would be helpful? And I saw that and I was like, oh, like this, it'd be totally helpful. So then I just went in and added the webhook and then added to the sales page. And I was like, oh, there we go.
I really like that. It gives me a lot of ideas for like, even if someone had a lot of smaller freebies, but wanted to kind of bundle them in a way like, oh, well, if you're in this situation, like, I'm just going to give you access to this kind of collection or that collection, but you wouldn't have to create this infinite variety of different products. You just link them together like you've done. So smart.
Yeah, you just create like a new bundle. If it's like, oh, it's the Fast Action Friday bundle, or it's like the Valentine's bundle, and then you just go and like grab the different things that make sense and then just pop them together in that one checkout, basically. Sweet. Let me see. Was there another question that I have? I do see something coming up. Oops. Oh, what are webhooks actions? Webhooks are not actions, actually. So what the webhooks, can't say it. Webhooks are things that, I don't know how to describe it. It's a magical fairy that connects the product, the user to the product. So you know what, I can probably better show you this here. I can't show you the inactive campaign, but I can show you. Like I said, I'm not very techie, guys. That's why, people. I'm not very techie, people. That's why I do refer to things as magical fairies. People think I'm being cute, and I'm like, no, that's actually how I think of them.
So Katie, is it essentially the webhook, you do that in the email software, not in MemberVault? Is that it?
Yep,
okay.
Exactly.
Because I was just wanting to make sure that the actions that you went into, that's not what you're referring to when you're saying webhooks.
Yeah, totally different things. So it is under, this is set up slightly different than my other MemberVault. Oh, you know what? I probably haven't even set it up here. I totally haven't even set it up. Oh, wait, here we go. Aha. Okay, so this would be here. So I use Active Campaign. So you would just come down here. You would grab, say like it was the ROI session that I was adding someone to. Then you pick show URL. Then you just grab this. This is your webhook. So how you use it on the inside of your email system is completely up to whatever email system that you have. So for example, they have this nice screenshot, which is from Active Campaign, and I would just click that little purple webhook button, and then I would just paste that link in there in the automation after they buy. And then that anything that you webhook them into, they will automatically be added to. But there's probably, it's probably possible to do all of that from actions. It's just, I have it set up this way now. So, you know, like when you're used to doing something, you just keep using it. I'm probably that person. So there might be better ways to do it, but that's like how I'm doing it now. I think I have some more questions. Jolyn says, can I email students from each course inside MemberVault for updates? No, what you can do is in your email system, like you can tag them based on what they have signed up for. So for example, like MemberVault actually creates its own tag automatically. I don't use them. I just set up my own tag. So I would just say people who are signed up for a copy and paste copy, if I wanted to email them, I would just tell my email system like, oh, I want to email everybody who's tagged copy and paste copy. And then I would just be like, hey, I just made this update, like go check it out. And then I would link to that particular product. So it doesn't come from MemberVault because that's like email systems are like a whole other ball game. And I think they don't really intend to get into that because it really is like, It's like Mars if we are on Earth right now. So I don't think they intend to get into it, and I do not blame them. But yeah, you would do that from your main email system. And Sherry says, what is a webhook? I use MailerLite. MailerLite probably uses them. Again, I'm not really techie enough to properly answer what a webhook is. It like glues things together. It gives access to things.
Like, does it give access to multiple products or?
Different, you would use a webhook for each individual product. Each product has its own webhook. It's a unique link. That I can say.
Oh, okay, so it's a unique link.
But I have no idea about MailerLite. I'm so sorry. It's like, I have never touched it in my life before. But I do know that definitely like every product has its own thing.
Is it like your sign up page or the URL for your product?
Neither. It's literally gives like back end access into your course when they purchase.
Okay.
Oh, someone else might be saying.
Which actually you can get from your product in MemberVault.
Sorry?
So that you can get from your MemberVault product with that gear icon.
Okay. You have to go in through integrations. Hold on, I will share my screen again because I can't. And your process is going to be different than what I just showed you, just because it depends on the particular email system. So if you go into integrations, if you have integrated, you need to integrate your email system with MemberVault first. Blah, blah, blah. So many different processes. You need to go down to advanced, and then you would go to, let's see, mailer. Oh, maybe MailerLite doesn't work. Maybe it's it could be a Zap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just go in the product and it has the gearbox and it gives you the URL for that, and I just copy it in there. That's all I do.
Okay. Are they buying through MemberVault?
No, I'm going to be doing the Thrive cart.
Thrive cart. Okay. So you would, as far as I am aware, that will give a link to that product, but it won't give them access. So webhook gives access. That's the difference. So I would ask like Katrina about how that works. It might be a Zap. I know that there's like a few outliers that they don't integrate directly, but they've got a workaround for that.
Okay.
I did see another question. I just found an all-in-one marketing platform that includes email management, contact automations. I need to learn how to sort my pre-course students into that platform. Yeah. Getting set up is always kind of a noodle, but once you get it set up, you good. It's just like that first initial. I remember when I was first shown webhooks and I was like, my brain is exploding. And then I got it. I was like, oh, this is so easy. But it's just figuring out like how that all connects the first time. Emily says, I did the math. Thank you so much. Can you show us a Zap inside of MemberVault? I have no idea. I'm so sorry. I don't use them at all in there. I have a question about one of your freebies. Yeah, sure, Sherry. Okay.
So do you create your freebies like they're separate products? Because I did create that a little while ago, and so now I'm kind of forgetting.
Perfect.
But if you're going to use those as like how you were just describing what you just did their free Friday, whatever, mm-hmm. I could take some of those products but they're all connected in freebies or?
Yeah, so you can have different modules in your subscriber hub, and those can basically act like miniature products by itself. Or like my Fast Action Friday, I just set that up as to give free access to MemberVaulters. So it is a paid product, but it basically acted like a subscriber hub, basically. Yeah. So you can bundle together different products and just make it free, or you can just put it all in the subscriber hub like I do, where I have like just a bunch of like sweet things available, just in the different modules. Nicole says, search for MailerLite in the MB Facebook group. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, there's definitely people using MailerLite. So there's for sure, that's a great tip, Nicole. Please define a subscriber hub and MemberVault. That's just where like people, when they sign up for your freebie, you can have all of your freebies in one place. So I was actually just seeing a thread about this in another group where people were saying like, oh my gosh, it's so annoying when somebody signs up for a freebie because they get links to like all different freebies. You can streamline it with MemberVault and have them all in that one subscriber hub, which is so awesome. I can probably show you this because it's not personal information. Hold on, just give me 1 second to log in. Preview. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so for example, this is my suite sale stuff. There's so much stuff in here now. Like I said, you can have multiple products, or not product, you can have multiple modules. So you can basically be like multiple products. So I've got like tons and tons of stuff in here. I have the copy crash course. I have 6 things every sales page needs. I have the single post launch, find your launch personality, and the confidence sales guide. So there's, yeah, lots of things in here. So you can, instead of having like different pages where people get all of these things, which gets very, very messy, I can tell you, then they just get like one little link and then they get all of your stuff, which makes it so, so, so nice and easy to deliver. Oh, let me see. Okay, cool. That was just a comment. So yeah, very, very handy to have it all part and parcel in one spot. Any last questions before I just do a quick little summary to make sure that everyone comes away with what they need? All right, it looks like we're good. Cool. So I will just give a quick little run through. Okay, so there's 7 main steps to just making this happen. And I also have this gamification article. It goes through like the 5 major steps because it kind of assumes you have a quiz already. But anyway, we walk through how to do that. So step 1 is create your quiz. Step 2 is create your reward. So again, don't feel like you have to necessarily create it from scratch. Look through your treasure chest, see what you have already. Number 3 is automatically reward your quiz respondents. So doing that with actions. Number 4 is you want to link to your product. So you want to go and then create that lesson beneath the quiz. So then that way, that's where they automatically go to after they've taken the quiz. Then you, number 5, update your pre-quiz copies. That way it's really clear the exact steps that they need to take in order to unlock their prize. And then you want to go update your welcome message. So that way people know like, hey, this cool little prize is here. It's worthwhile to go through all of the content. Because of course, when people go through your content, the likelihood of them actually getting results with it is so much higher instead of them, you know, flaking out halfway through, which that happens. And then the last thing you want to do is upgrade your page. So you can go, you can take a screenshot of those awesome comments that people leave you, the answers, and then you can pop them into your page. So that way you can speak the language of your clients and your buyers. So that way you have more people buying. All right, so I am going to just pop the link in the chat for the gamification step-by-step tutorial in the MemberVault article section. So that way you can grab that and you can go ahead and use that. And thank you everyone for sticking with me. I know we went a little bit over time, but I thought it was worth it to get everyone's questions answered. And hey, if you were thinking, if someone's asking you like if they should do a live class with me, I would love to hear your thoughts. So that way I can do the same sort of thing. Natalia says, thank you so much. Oh, good. Alicia said, thank you much. Yay. This is a really great session. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to walk through everything with you. And I hope to see this in action. Tag me in the MemberVault group, Katie Momo, and I would love to see your MemberVault up and kicking. Thanks, everyone.